everyone. Welcome back to all of my loyal subscribers and a warm hello to all of our new viewers joining us today. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of our community. If you enjoy our content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you never miss an upload. If you don't know who I am Dr. Jasmine, a naturopathic doctor and nutritionist, and it is my pleasure to share with you what I know and continue to learn about all things natural holistic health. Now, to all my loyal subscribers, you're probably like, I haven't seen her in a while. And I do. Thank you for your patience. I was actually in Jamaica um, with my family for one of my friends' weddings. It was a beautiful affair. And so that's where I've been. But I'm back. And today, I really want to start diving into that key root cause area of hair growth, which is nutrition. Now you might be thinking, why didn't I start with nutrition? Most of the times when we, Google what can I do for hair growth, the first thing you hear about is like biotin, right? That's a B vitamin that is well known in its role of helping us grow healthy hair. Well, the reason why I didn't start with nutrition is because all of the root causes we've been discussing already, so things like metabolism and lifestyle and hormones, these all are dependent on our nutrition, right? So now, because we've gone through those and you've gotten an understanding of the effect that they have on your hair, we can now relate nutrients back to those key root causes and start learning about what foods that can actually help boost them in our diets. So that's why I didn't start there. I'm going to highlight a few nutrients over the coming days and weeks for you guys to kind of focus on, giving you lots of insight on what that nutrient's for and what foods you can use to add them into your diet. All right. So nutrition is basically the intake and usage of nutrients for bodily function. Okay, now we did discuss usage when we talked about digestion, right? We talked about the upper gut and how that's important for, ingestion and actually like the breakdown of the food, right? The food goes in, you don't break it down. It's almost like you didn't eat it. So that's the usage. Now we want to talk about the intake, right? What are we actually intaking and how much of that does our body usually need? Well, the first nutrient that I want to highlight for you guys is a micronutrient or a vitamin or mineral. And this one happens to be a mineral, which is called selenium. All right. Now, you might be familiar with selenium, and you might not be. It's a lesser known micronutrient. It's not needed for a ton of things in the body, but it is very key. Now, the first thing I'd always think about when it comes to selenium is our thyroid. And we've just got done talking about metabolism and how important the thyroid is for regulating, right, the rate at which your body's going to function. So if you're overactive, it's going to be going too fast. The hair growth cycle is going to go really, really fast, and that shed is going to happen. Versus the hypothyroid, your hair growth is going to be just very slow because things are running much slower. Well, selenium comes into play because selenium is actually required to help you make thyroid hormone, right? It's like one of those main ingredients for thyroid hormone. We kind of talked about iodine as well. Iodine is also required to make the thyroid hormone. So if you don't have these nutrients, then you can't make this product, right? It's almost like trying to make cookies, but you don't have any flour, you don't have any eggs, you don't have any milk, like you don't have any of the ingredients to make these cookies, right? So we definitely need selenium to help us make thyroid hormone. Too much can have an overactive effect, so we don't want to get too much of that particular nutrient, and it can be easy to do. So it's something to kind of keep in mind. Selenium is very common in a lot of different supplements, usually multivitamins, sometimes thyroid supports, and not micro, but multi minerals will also have selenium as well. So you definitely want to take a look at some of the supplements you might be taking from your doctor, or just, what you found on the shelf, and just be sure you're not getting too much. Typical dose that's usually pretty good when it comes to hair growth is about 200 micrograms, but you don't want to take more than 400 micrograms. And this is the recommendation by the National Institute of Health of how much is too much selenium. So definitely take a look at everything that you're taking to make sure you're not getting too much. Now, the other reason why selenium is so important is selenium is also required for the production of glutathione. Now, glutathione, we kind of talked about this nutrient when we talked about lifestyle, because toxins actually get detoxified in your liver using glutathione. So, if you remember, we talked about the phases of detox. We talked about phase one and phase two that happen in your liver. Well, glutathione comes into play at phase two. So sometimes what happens is that phase one's working really, really great, but we don't have enough selenium. So that glutathione conjugation or that tagging for excretion is happening very slowly. So that can lead to a buildup of toxins. That can also lead to a buildup of those toxic byproducts of phase one because they're not being conjugated, leading to more damage, more inflammation, and thus overall less hair growth. This can also, if you're dealing with toxins, this can deplete your selenium. I'm actually seeing this quite a bit where people are eating really good diets. They might be taking supplements, but they haven't gotten that phase zero part of lifestyle down. They haven't figured out what their toxin is, or they haven't gotten rid of it. And so it's not that they're not taking enough, it's just they're just using it at a rate that their intake is not able to keep up with. So that's why, again, phase zero is so important, but it's also important to be sure that we're eating enough selenium or getting enough supplement wise so that we have it available to actually make this major antioxidant so that we can be detoxifying properly and just taking the stress off of our body when it comes to these toxic byproducts. All right. So, what foods, right? What foods can we eat to boost this super important nutrient? Well, the most like concentrated on food is going to be Brazil nuts. So, I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they're pretty large nuts. So, you really don't need too many to get enough selenium. Usually, two to four is pretty good if you're very deficient, like on blood testing, maybe four. If you're not, or maybe your thyroid is like normal functioning, a couple a day is fine. You can throw them on a salad, you can put them in your oatmeal, throw them in a smoothie. But Brazil nuts are a really good way to get them. Now, you can get too much from Brazil nuts, okay? If you like them and you're just popping them, try not to do more than 6 or 8 because that can take you over that 400 microgram per day that's recommended. Also, you want to be careful if you're taking supplements that have selenium. Okay. So, again, if you're taking, let's say, 200 milligrams in your supplement, or excuse me, 200 micrograms in your supplements, maybe just a couple of Brazil nuts rather than that full four. Now, other foods, say you're allergic or you don't like Brazil nuts, shellfish is actually really high in other animal proteins. So, all types of fish, beef, pork, chicken, turkey are very high in selenium. Peas, potatoes, lentils, oats, and spinach are also very high for my vegetarian vegans. And if you're not vegan or vegetarian, definitely feel free to eat those foods because they definitely have other nutrients as well. But these are going to be some of your highest for selenium. All right, well, guys, this is the first nutrient we're going to talk about. Very important. It kind of piggybacks off that metabolism key root cause that we just got done talking about. So, pick up some Brazil nuts from the store. If you have a favorite recipe, definitely leave it in the comments. I'm always looking for new recipes to try with Brazil nuts. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you pick up some selenium-rich foods and just start boosting metabolism, boosting detoxification, and boosting overall hair growth. All right, guys, that's my time. I hope you enjoyed this. If you do have questions, let's say you don't want to, leave it here on the comments, you can always email me at askdrjazz@gmail.com. And if you'd like to work with me, feel free to visit me at www.drjasmine.com. All right, guys, it was a pleasure. May God bless you and your health. Bye.